display, and very overexcited and optimistic tweets have been flying in. It can mean only one thing. The Sky Bet Football League is back.
We've got 40-odd weeks of drama and excitement ahead of us, and we'll be with you every step of the way, because this is your new home for all the highlights from the Sky Bet Championship, League One and League Two.
Yeah, we'll have all the highs and lows from every game today and every Saturday, and it's even a little earlier than you used to.
And in the company of a few special guests, not least our audience of football fans. Welcome along. And the 3 trophies are here in the studio as well.
Now, every week we're going to have a tame professional in the studio giving us the pros view. Former Brighton, Bristol Rovers and Celtic defender Adam Virgo is here to cast his eye over the favourites for each of the divisions. We'll be doing that a bit later, but for the rest of us, the start of the season is fantastic. We look forward to it. What about the players? Is it a bit back to school?
Every player has a different view for the start of the season. My view was knowing that pre-season was over with and I could go back to a normal week, and that was 10 months down the line. And also my kit always fitted me at the start of the season. Trust me, come October, some of the kit men I had put a 30 degree on instead of a 40.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it was, Adam.
We also want to hear from you, so get in touch with us here and every week at Football on 5 Live on Twitter, on Facebook as well, on Instagram, any platform you want really. Just give it to us, we'll hunt down the content. We want your matchday experiences, your photos, your videos, and at the end of today we'll reveal just where your team sits on these league tables.
Right, all of which is a long-winded way to get us to the goals. We've got so much action to bring you tonight, but we're going to get going at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday are under new management. Carlos Carvalhal from Portugal managed 13 clubs in his homeland, in Greece and in Turkey. How will he make the transition to English football? Bristol City's manager Steve Cotterill is on the crest of a wave. Brilliant season last time out, a trophy and their first title in 60 years. Your commentator is Paul Walker.
Williams. Freeman. Might go himself here, it's Freeman! Well, it's a good try. On his right foot, just dragged it wide of Westwood's right-hand post. The first real shot in anger at goal. And it's come from Bristol City. And already Steve Cotterill scribbling on his pad. Codger, Freeman, now Bryan, needs to be a good delivery, not bad, this is Wilbraham, neat take, it's Wilbraham, and Westwood with a comfortable enough save in the end. Wilbraham does ever so well from this, it's a really good cross, the first touch is excellent, twisting and turning, manages to get the shot away, but Westwood with the save. That should offer encouragement, but down the other end, this is Matthias. He's got clear of his markers. Marco Matthias! Best chance of the game by a country mile. And Marco Matthias has not taken it. And that goes agonisingly wide. Desperately close to his first goal for his new club. And Nuhiu is onside, and look at Matthias. He's an acres through the centre. If Nuhiu can pick him out, it's blocked by Ealing, and now a chance, and placed over the top by Lopez from 10 yards out. Well, another terrific opportunity. Nuhiu starts it. Look at Matthias in the centre, screaming for the ball. Bristol City thought the danger was over, and Lopez goes in and blazes his shot high and over the crossbar and into the cop. Carlos Carvalhal, I wonder what his thoughts are 45 minutes into his debut in English football. He'll be relatively pleased with what his side served up. 2 in the box waiting for a cross in Matthias and Nuhiu. And it's Hunt, and he's gone beyond 2. Nuhiu screaming for it, Matthias coming in. And held behind by Burns. Well, you feel it's coming, but so far Bristol City are defending manfully. Taken by Lopez. Lees! It's a goal! Sheffield Wednesday are up and running and get the goal they deserve. Tom Lees with his first goal for Sheffield Wednesday, just short of the hour mark. Breakthrough at last. And Carlos Carvalhal with a wry smile. A set-piece goal that Fielding gets fingertips to, but can't keep it out. And Tom Lee celebrates his first goal in the blue and white. Freeman's corner. Really whipped in, a good header and cleared off the line by Lewis McGugan. Right in the perfect spot, and Sheffield Wednesday can break here. 3-on-3 at the moment. Jeremy Allan carrying the ball. Got an option to the left and to the right. Finds Wallace. Red shirts flooding back as the cross goes in. Fielding's missed it. McGugan! 2-0. Now the manager is smiling on the sidelines, and Lewis McGugan surely has put the game out of Bristol City's reach. Fielding went for the ball and missed it. Quick breakaway goal. In goes the cross, and Fielding just couldn't get there, and Lewis McGugan in round the back taps it home. Lucas João knocks it beyond Flint. Pack goes across, but Zhao's kept it, and that's a good-looking ball. It's Kieran Lee, and this is Matthias. Well, that would have been the icing on the cake. Desperately close in the first half, and desperately close in the second. Marco Matthias just hasn't been able to crown his performance with a goal. And Kieran Lee, the presence of mind to slide Matthias in. He should have done better.
I think it's clear that we play a positive football, and we move the ball very well when you are in organized attack. Our reaction when we lose the ball was good because we have a stronger reaction and we win the ball again. We don't give too many chances to the opposite. We control the match. Sometimes the opposite have the ball, but we have the match under control. It's something that we're training also. So I'm very happy.
I'm not annoyed with them. I'm not annoyed with them at all. You know, we've had a tough summer, to say the least, and we need people with us longer to get that cohesiveness in our play.
Are you close to adding any more?
Not at this moment in time, no. No, it's been a bit of a struggle, that one.
Well, that may have been a bit of a struggle, but it's been a great start for Sheffield Wednesday, and a great day for a couple of Owls fans in particular. 100-year-old Ivy Golson was guest of honour for Wednesday today. Not surprisingly, she is the oldest season ticket holder at Hillsborough. Good on you, Ivy. And a famous Owls fan, Michael Vaughan, sent us a My Eye today, which is kind of like a periscope thing. It's not like
nothing else to do, did he?
He's got no cricket to watch or anything. He is looking forward to a big season for Wednesday.
I'm afraid it's all about the blue and white Wizards. Sheffield Wednesday, that's why I wear this suit on a regular basis. As soon as the football season starts, you get the blue suits on. That is not anything to do with Sheffield United, I have to say. It's about the England colours of cricket. Sheffield United, I think they'll probably go up in League One. I hate to say that, but they seem to have a good squad and a good manager in Nigel Atkins. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the cricket. England have won 3-1. Sheffield Wednesday's year, back in the Premier League next year. The new tie-in is loaded, got a load of cash. I reckon if he spends a bit of it and gets a striker, we'll go up. Cheers, everyone. Have a good show.
He was gasping to go and celebrate, wasn't he?
I think he'll be well refreshed this evening, yeah.
On today's form, they might not need that strike. A cracking start for the Owls. What have United, though, favourites for League One, as Michael mentioned? The Blades unveiled this. It's a bit of a naughty, bit of a rascal away kit. In fact, one chap in the studio has got it on. Thumbs up? Yeah? You happy with that purchase?
Yeah, love it.
You don't look it. What did you buy it for if you don't like it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yes, yeah, very, very convincing. Well, they wore it for the first time in anger at Gillingham today, and anger may well be what the fans are feeling tonight, Kelly.
Absolutely not so the case for Gillingham, though, who got a fantastic win. The first goal came from Luke Norris, but it came after a little bit of a row because Emmanuel Osadebe, who's a Spurs youth player, was originally credited, and then Gillingham got tweeted by Luke Norris to say, actually, that goal's mine. So it is, we're giving it to Luke Norris. And then Oshilaja, the 22-year-old defender who's come in on loan from Cardiff, made it 2.
Definitely him.
That definitely was him. We know that for a fact. No debate over that one.
This was number 3, John Egan, late on. Scored 5 last year, up and running with that. for number 3, and that was points in the bag at that point, but there was still one more.
And what a goal it was as well. There's loads of fantastic goals today, much more than you'd normally get. That definitely one of the contenders for goal of the day from Bradley Dack. So 4-0 the final score there.
Yes, Nigel Adkins' is... anyone won this, by the way? There you go. Nigel Adkins' one of the favourites to go up. He's taken up Southampton, Reading, Scunthorpe. This was a far from ideal start, though.
No, quick break now, but loads more from the Championship in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Football League tonight. Already tonight, we've seen Sheffield Wednesday start their Championship season with a win, and Sheffield United hammered at Gillingham in League One. So, after that sticky start for the favourites for League One, now a look at the favourites for the Sky Bet Championship. Derby, Hull, fancy that? 10-1 on Hull? And Borough, who play tomorrow. Those odds actually have been shortened since the new deal for Aitor Karanka.
Ah, I see. Thank you, George. Now, quick stat for you. No favourite has won the Championship title since Manchester City 14 years ago. It's a stat. I didn't say it was a very interesting one. What is interesting, though, and as I said earlier, is that we're going to be joined every week by a current or former player to give us the pros view. Today it is, of course, the former Brighton defender Adam Virgo. We're going to take a look at the main contenders for the Championship. We've just heard who they are. Let's start with Derby and how they got on their trip to Bolton.
Well, if Paul Clement wanted an introduction to his managerial career, he certainly found today what the Championship is all about. And he'd have been pleased with his side start. It's not easy going away to Bolton. And this was an early chance for Russell hitting the bar. He does that so well, making those late runs into the box. But unfortunately, for Derby fans, for Will Hughes, this doesn't look good for him.
This is terrible news for Derby. With Will Hughes, I mean, he was already, as soon as he went down, he was signalling to the bench to try and get himself off the pitch, wasn't he?
He looked like he got his studs caught in the ground, and as you see there, we wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah. Can that have an effect on the rest of the players on the pitch?
Well, it certainly did, because I really did feel it did change the dynamic of the game. This was a great ball in from Tom Ince, and as you say, he's going to be a big, big buy for them this season. But credit to Neil Lennon's side, they came back into it second half, and as I say, they really started well. And Emil Heskey rolling back the years there, getting in front of Scott Carson. And as you say, really should have put it into the back of the net, but Neil Lennon's had a tough summer trying to bring in signings along the way. Again, this is a great ball in from Wilson. Dean does everything right there, and it rises early and hits the bar. And just sometimes, when you're away from home, as the Derby players were today, and I think this is where Paul would take great, great credit, that they've actually dug in, kept that clean sheet. As you say, they've got a strong squad, and this was Spearing at the end.
So, look, do we think that's a dive?
It's a dive. He stays on the floor.
Is he claiming a penalty, though?
No, because he stays on the floor. He's on a yellow card.
But the referees have been told they've to look out for simulation. Jay Spearing gets his second yellow, and he's off. What do you think?
Well, it is a dive, unfortunately, and as you say, his reaction afterwards, he stayed on the ground, kept his head in the ground. Maybe should have just got straight back and run back. So
Derby getting a 0-0 draw at Bolton. Let's take a look at Hull, another one of the favourites to go back up into the Premier League. They were taking on Huddersfield.
Well, say Steve Bruce would have been praying for a goal today. I say towards the end of the last season, they just could not score. And as you see coming in here, as it's Davison, it's just a little great ball in. And I say, there you are. You just want your midfielder coming in there. And Luke has just signed in from Chesterfield this summer. Great to get your goal on your debut. I'd say Steve Bruce would not have cared how his first goal went in the Championship. I'd say fair play. I think Hull have got a really good back four, and they've got an excellent goalkeeper. So this is Butterfield with the shot. It's a comfortable save for McGregor, but I'm just putting the points in there that he's going to be very, very important for them this season.
I mean, you'd expect a Steve Bruce side to have a solid back four,
exactly,
wouldn't you?
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Kelly. And I say Joel Lynch maybe should have cleared it better with his left foot. Back upon there, he's got something to prove this season. And so you're coming in, you know there's rumours of other strikers maybe joining you, but he'll be pleased on his debut to get a goal. So
a good result for Hull then, with a 2-0 win and a good performance, you were saying, you know, that Steve Bruce will have been asking for them. When you look at Hull's performance, when you see Derby and maybe putting the injury to Will Hughes and taking that into context, do you think that we're seeing the sides that are going to be challenging best for the Championship title or for promotion in some form?
Yeah, I think so. You just saw two different kind of performances away from home. It's always difficult, especially at the start of the season. It's always a hot day, and that always makes a difference. And injuries to key players does make a difference. So when Will Hughes went off there, it did change the dynamic. But I'm sure Steve Bruce tonight will be very, very happy with 3 points.
Yeah, and of course they'll all be glued to Preston against Middlesbrough tomorrow as well.
A great start then for Hull City, and let's take a look at the other relegated sides, or one of them, Burnley. They travelled to Elland Road. Sol Bamba having made his move to Leeds official this summer. He's been named the club captain for Burnley. Jelle Vossen, one of those brought in over the summer to replace Ings, Trippier and Shackle. Commentary of this one from Daniel Mann and Don Goodman.
Here's Vossen, in threateningly. Well, Jutkiewicz certainly felt that the attentions of Charlie Taylor were far too close. Here's Byram. Trying to get beyond Ben Mee, and he'll succeed. Wood is in there, Dallas is in there, and oh, somehow it stayed out. Mowatt's in there. Well, I thought for a moment there it was the perfect start to Stuart Dallas's Leeds career, but Burnley escape. Some good tussles out there. It's certainly got plenty of edge at the start of this. And Vossen, can he find Jutkiewicz here? Not well. It's certainly a big shout. We were on the wrong side of it to tell at first time of asking. But the Burnley supporters down there certainly felt there was a handball.
Well, Burnley are complaining because they feel there's a hand here, and oh, good grief.
Boyd, it's opened up. They threatened to get away from him for a moment. Jutkiewicz. Oh, and it will creep agonisingly wide from Keightley. Well, the keeper in a bit of trouble, and Vossen. And an escape for Leeds.
Well, the strike comes in, it's deflected, and actually again Silvestri, the goalkeeper, gets something on it. How much he knows about this, I don't know, but that's what diverts it wide.
Keightley. Can Burnley make this better spell count? Jutkiewicz, and Silvestri alive and alert. Berardi committing himself. Now Lewis Cook. He's got the Leeds crowd G'd up. Byram. Oh, it might break very kindly for Mowat on his favoured side. But not quite the result he was looking for.
It falls kindly for Alex Mowat there. You would have banked on him at least hitting the target with that wonderful left foot that he possesses.
Here's Arfield. Jutkiewicz again. Ben Mee's under this, and so inevitably is Byram. And here is the chance for Wood. Berardi. Antonucci. It's going to open up for him! Glorious! Simply beautiful from Leeds' top scorer last season, and hasn't he got the new campaign off to the perfect start? Well, Boyd with some excellent skill. Darikwa. Vokes! Terrific answer! Sam Vokes, back at Elland Road, comes up with a stunning equaliser.
Well, if Antonucci's was a wonderful individual effort, full of wonderful footwork and a calm finish at the end of it, this is an outstanding header.
Told you there were loads of good goals today. Stay tuned, there are loads more as well. Now, so many clubs seem to have a big promotion chance this season in the Sky Bet Championship. We've already seen some of the contenders, but Brentford and Ipswich made the playoffs last year, and they played each other today.
Putting their faith firmly in metrics and analytics, Brentford aspire to be the Football League's most innovative club. There was one vital statistic at half-time here. Ipswich had more goals than they did. Kevin Brew with the scissor kick after Ryan Fraser had come within a whisker. Fraser was outstanding for Ipswich. He'll offer much-needed pace and guile out wide. And on this evidence, goals too. The unselfish Freddie Sears picked him out for Town's second, as things suddenly look bleak for Brentford's number crunchers. Having replaced Mark Warburton as head coach, judgment will be swift on the Bees' new man, Marinus Dijkhuizen. Good for him then that an inspired substitution put Brentford back in it. Andre Gray fired the first of 2 Brentford goals in injury time. James Tarkowski then got the equaliser on 96 minutes. Ipswich had faltered at the last, just as they did in last season's playoffs. Fellow semi-finalist Brentford will hope that this year they have the staying power for promotion. Survival will be the priority for Rotherham and MK Dons, although after this showing, maybe the Championship newcomers will set their sights a little higher. Carl Robinson's side needed only 5 minutes to score their first ever goal in the second tier. Rob Hall on target. But the Millers were soon back on terms. Matt Derbyshire levelled as Rotherham briefly showed the sort of fighting spirit that got them out of trouble last season. That achievement saw Steve Evans don a sombrero in the dugout. For this game, he could have done with something that covered his eyes. The Millers' new-look defence fell apart. Danny Collins scoring an own goal on his Rotherham debut. The Millers had started with 8 new faces and a completely new back four. It seems they need time to gel. Dean Bowditch had the Dons 3-1 ahead before half-time. It's no surprise to see MK among the goals. They were the Football League's top scorers last season with 101 and needed no time to adjust to life in the second tier. Carl Baker iced the cake late on as the Dons finished as the Championship's biggest scorers on opening day.
Wolves were happy enough to get the ball rolling at Blackburn, where they'd won on their last 3 trips. Though Jordan Rhodes quickly reminded them he's still a Rovers player for now at least. A very close shave for the side who know all about football's fine margins after missing out on the playoffs on goal difference last season. Back then, Benik Afobe was on fire during the run-in, and latching onto Dave Edwards' header proved he's still sizzling after the summer break. Tough on Blackburn, who'd looked the most likely to score before that, but fortune certainly favoured them soon after, when Nathan D'Alfonso's determination to make an impact on his debut had Wolves at full stretch. Craig Conway's shot deflected into orbit, leaving Karl Hakimi disastrously disorientated. Rovers weren't high-fiving for long. They returned to the dressing room incensed at half-time, behind again after Nua Dicko's shot took a touch on the way through from Edwards, who looked pretty sheepish about the finish. Even Wolves boss Kenny Jackett admitted the ball had hit the midfielder's hand. No doubt he'd have liked a third to make victory more convincing and just take some of the sting out of those post-match questions. James Henry almost obliged in the closing stages. But still a glimmer of light for Blackburn, who pushed hard all the way to the finish. Sub Fode Koita making a decent impression in his first English run-out. But yet again, Wolves departed with the points from an unhappy Ewood Park.
I've spoken to the referee and he didn't think it was handball. It was just as simple as that. But you've got the referee and you've got the linesman on that side that, you know, we hope that they can spot things like that.
It was a strange one, that. We were watching it in the office this afternoon and we thought, oh, it's been disallowed, he's not celebrating. Yeah. Then, Adam, let's have another look at it. It became apparent why he wasn't celebrating it.
Well, he did look a little bit sheepish, didn't he, when the ball went in?
More than sheepish, he mouthed, "It's handball."
So what do you do in that? If that's you and you've handled that in, what do you do?
Well, if I've gone that far up the pitch to...
Well, you'd miss.
Yeah, I'd be claiming that, trust me. But so speaking to a few fans here, Lee, just over there, the Wycombe fan, said that he would admit it was a penalty.
Really? You would? If it was going to win your side the game?
Well, you've got to be open about it, haven't you? If it's the other way round, if it goes against you.
Yeah.
No, do you? You want it to be fair. I mean, if it's a playoff final and you want to be winning, then you...
Right. I think
we can't hear a word you're saying because we haven't got a microphone on you.
Well,
but we'll ask you again. But it made perfect sense to us anyway. But he was just making the point, you've got to do it because if it goes against you, you're going to be annoyed by it.
Evens itself out. On Wolves, you've tipped them to go up, yeah?
Yes, I have, yes. I feel that last season they surprised a few people, but I think Kenny Jackett's got a wonderful squad there, and if you've seen the 2 goal scorers today, they've got great pace going forward, and that's where I feel in the Championship especially, away from home, their style of play is really suited to them.
Well, elsewhere it's in danger of being a cliché. Well, it is a cliché.
It is.
We don't mind the odd one of those. The Championship, though, is just so unpredictable. Brighton seen as, well, promotion candidates by some. 442 magazine, though, reckon they're going to be relegated. One thing we do know, they made a big signing this summer and announced it in style as well.
I'm back.
Yeah, except...
He wasn't, actually, no. He wasn't back at all. He wasn't fit enough even for the bench, so he didn't take part, Bobby Zamora. But let's see how Brighton got on against Forest.
Antonio ready to pounce. Lansbury does. He's fouled rather crudely by Dale Stephens. Danny Fox with the left foot also interested, but it's Lansbury, and it's off the outside of the post. Out. Lualua. Kieran Kyle off the post.
It's a wonderful strike. I don't think De Vries actually sees this until very late.
Well, on march. That's an inviting one, and it's clawed out from the very mouth of his goal there. And superb style by Doris De Vries.
Well, this is an absolutely stunning save. How on earth he gets off the ground and anticipates where this is going to end up. A brilliant reaction save.
Here's March, taking up a central position at the start of this second half, finding Lualua. Going low and finding the corner. Kazenga Lualua lights the new touch paper on Brighton's season.
Boris De Vries made a brilliant save in the first half, couldn't get anywhere near that, but it was coming.
Mikel Antonio powering forward. Bruno will do well to stick with him, and does. Awkward one. Tyler Walker, Blackstock's in there, can't get it across the line. Well, that's the closest that Forest have come all game.
Well, we were impressed with Brighton last night. I mean, I don't know what you think, Brighton fans. Bit harsh to be tipped for relegation by a football magazine. Yeah, at Football on 5 if you want to get in touch with us.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Now, the rest of the Championship coming up later in the show. When we come back, we'll have more action from League One, and stay tuned for your chance to win tickets to a game, cash and a massive TV.
Taking a look at the main contenders for promotion from the Championship to the Premier League, and we've already seen the hot favourites for promotion from League One. Sheffield United smacked 4-0 by Gillingham.
Yeah, some of the big names we have seen so far. Plenty more, though, in the Sky Bet Football League. 3 England internationals are managing in League Two at the moment, and a Dutch international as well in League One. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank with Burton Albion, promoted last season. Today they got their League One campaign underway against Scunthorpe.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank secured promotion 112 days ago for Burton Albion. Phil Edwards came close to scoring their first ever goal in League One into his own net. Having avoided that embarrassment, Stuart Bevan took full advantage of Stephen Dawson's attempt to dribble out of his own area to score Burton's first at this level. The second was a gift. Luke Daniels, the Scunthorpe keeper, annoyed at the attention he was getting from Mark Duffy. Daniels went too far. He was given a straight red card. And Lucas Akins scored the penalty past sub-keeper Joe Anyon, last season's top scorer, continuing where he left off. Charlie Good was left unmarked to pull a goal back for the 10 men of Scunthorpe. The Burtons start their first season in League One with a win.
This day was always about history, you know, for the club itself. First time in League One, can we get it a positive one, you know? And I must say the boys did ever so well.
Yeah, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, right to be pleased and proud of the performance from his players. Now, 4, of course, come up from League Two every year. So here are the 3 other sides who came up alongside Burton last year.
Greenhouse Meadow was a fortress in Shrewsbury's campaign last season, and history looked to be repeating itself when James Collins timed his arrival to perfection. By contrast, Millwall's away record was a huge factor in their relegation from the Championship, but they responded when the lively Fred Onyedinma dazzled everyone except Steve Morrison, who celebrated his third spell at the club with a tap-in. The same two players were to combine again shortly afterwards when Onyedinma proved difficult to stop, before Morrison's wings were clipped by Matt Sadler and referee Charles Breakspear pointed to the spot. That meant Lee Gregory had the chance to guide the Lions to a first win on their travels since February, and he duly obliged.
If you had this one on your both teams to score coupon accumulator, you were probably fearing the worst, but 3 bizarre injury time minutes saw both teams score. Doncaster's Harry Forrester's attempt to return the ball after a break in play looped over the Bury keeper's head. Cue the pushing and shoving. Forrester protested his innocence. Donny boss Paul Dickoff even got involved. Eventually, Rovers did the right thing and allowed Leon Clark to even up the scores and make those both teams to score punters very happy indeed, despite a half-hearted attempt by Thorsten Stuckman to stop the striker scoring one of the easiest goals of his career.
There was no hint of any generosity from Fleetwood, who welcomed Southend to the Lancashire coast with one of the goals of the day. New signing Declan McManus marking his arrival from Aberdeen with a peach. But with the familiar whiff of sea air in their nostrils, Phil Brown's side grew into the contest and grabbed a point 6 minutes from time when Joe Piggott's rebounded effort found its way to Dave Worrell, whose accuracy from distance was lethal.
Yeah, really odd finish to that game involving Harry Forrester at the end. He's actually tweeted this. Let's have a look at what he's had to say. And, well, there you go. Very strange finish. Apologies to Bury for the shank. We've all done it, haven't we? I've got that placement from 40 yards, I can assure you he hasn't. Totally accidental. And then the hashtags on the end. Let's get a view on that from Adam Virgo. I know I've seen you shank a few before, but what an odd finish. Game. Yeah, I know. What an odd finish to that game.
It was, as you say, you never really see it, do you, that a team concedes a goal from like that, and it's, you know, good respect to give the goal back.
Yeah, not something we expected to see on the opening day. Right, we're going to see some more action. 4 teams who have been involved in the past in the top flight now are battling it out on the opening day in this division. Well,
as you say, it's a very, very tough day today for Gary Caldwell. And it's a good start for Tony Mowbray, and especially this man, Adam Armstrong, born in on loan.
Lifelong Newcastle fan.
As you say, what a finish that was. He took it early, and that's what made the finish so good. It's confident, looking on shoulders all the time.
Now, Will Grigg was one of the big movers pre-season. That was only a half chance.
It was only a half chance, but as you say, I think he's going to score a lot of goals this season. And now I think Gary Caldwell is not going to sleep well tonight, seeing this defending from his players. You just look at Armstrong there, between the 2 centre-halves, that's what you want to do. And any finish, he'll take that. Good start. Tony Mowbray's looking for another centre-forward, but they might have to get past him first.
Yeah, he's just got enough on it. That was his first senior goals as well.
Yeah, very proud.
Bad start for Wigan, who had that awful season last season. It was even worse for one of the teams in the other match.
Well, now we're talking about Bradford, and they did start well. As you say, I'd call this a typical League One goal, flick on from a throw-in. And I say, what a brilliant finish here from Josh Morris. I've scored goals like this, but unfortunately they're in my sleep.
On your computer game, yeah. That was a really nice finish. That was a brilliant start for them. So then what happened?
Well, as you say, they allowed themselves too much time to get into it. Was this a penalty? It was debatable, but as you say, it was a clumsy challenge there. I say Billy Clark.
Referee had a great position.
Yeah, he did.
He thought it was, so it was.
It's not a great penalty from Billy Clark, I must admit. He's had a great season last year, being their top goal scorer, but he'll be disappointed with that. A comfortable height for the goalkeeper.
And then the fun started.
Well, when you've got a player who's sought after by a lot of clubs, what you don't want is him to score a hat-trick, and especially in 16 minutes.
Keeper didn't see that, though, did he?
He didn't. So you do show him inside, but you do expect him to hit it with his left foot. But for his first 2 goals, he decided to use the outside of his right boot. But he shows his qualities, that what he's got, Nathan Byrne, and real trouble ahead for Swindon, because I think it's going to be difficult to keep hold of him.
Yeah, formerly of Tottenham, Nathan Byrne scored 3 league goals in the entire of last season, and he's equalled that already.
Yeah, I know, and this shows his quality. You know, all 3 goals were different, but this one shows when you've got a bit of pace and a bit of confidence, this is what's happened. And this was John Obika, great first touch. I played with John at Yeovil. As you say, lost Andy Williams last season, scoring over 20 goals. So it was a big loss to Swindon, but as you say, losing that playoff final as well, I think that's the hardest game to lose for a footballer, and it's great character how they've come back today.
And that hat-trick was a 16-minute hat-trick. And talk me through the squad number change.
Well, I say he started off at number 3 and he's ended up at number 10.
And what does that tell you?
Well, he's better up front than he is as a defender.
Well, he might well be better up front. He was, as the guys were saying there, a Spurs youth player, Nathan Byrne, but he left because he wasn't getting an opportunity under Andre Villas-Boas. A couple of days after he left, Tim Sherwood put in charge and started promoting all the youth players too. So he missed out on that, but things aren't going too badly for him at the moment. Let's catch up on the rest of League One now.
Home form was Walsall's Achilles heel last season, with 8 draws and 7 defeats at the Banks' Stadium. So, when Romain Sawyers took matters into his own hands after just 8 minutes, there were signs of relief all round. But a second goal to calm any lingering nerves never materialised. And when Jake Cassidy provided the muscle down the right, Jonathan Fort provided the magic from close range, 7 minutes from time, to give Darren Kelly his first point as Oldham manager.
Dean Saunders' stint in charge of Chesterfield got off to a terrible start, with Connor Wilkinson giving visitors Barnsley a 4th-minute lead. But the experienced manager clearly got his message across at half-time. A different-looking Chesterfield side equalised early in the second half. Jay O'Shea finishing off a fine team move. Sylvain Ebanks-Blake has lost his goal-scoring way since breaking his leg when he was at Wolves 2 years ago. He put the home side in front and could prove a shrewd signing if Saunders can get the best out of a man he knows well from his time managing at Molineux. Ebanks-Blake then set up Sam Morsey as Chesterfield completed the turnaround.
Port Vale made the short trip to neighbours Crewe and showed the greater attacking intent, underlined by Byron Moore's long-range effort. Vale manager Rob Page had urged his players to share his ambition for the club, and there was certainly plenty of that from Uche Ikpeazu, who beat everyone apart from the dead ball line and an eagle-eyed referee's assistant, and that was the closest either side came to scoring.
There's a lot to be said for being in the right place at the right time. Callum Camps gladly took on a deflected pass, casually ignored an awful second touch with his knee, and then scored with the toeiest of pokes to give Rochdale the lead against Peterborough. If the first was rough around the edges, the second was textbook. Ian Henderson playing in the pass beyond the back four. Ruben Noble-Lazarus provided the sort of finish a pass of that quality deserved. A straightforward win for Keith Hill's side. After the horror show of last year's relegation, Blackpool boss Neil MacDonald has a new-look side, handing out 8 debuts for their game at Colchester. One of those debutants, Jack Redshaw, couldn't take an early chance. Mark Cullen did get his debut goal, although he does have a debt of gratitude to Bright Samuels, who did all the hard work. Cullen applying the slightest of touches after Samuels' fine run and cross. The lead lasted just 4 minutes. Alex Gilby with a fantastic volley for Colchester, just his 4th career goal, and surely his best. Cullen scored a second in first half injury time to restore the lead for the visitors, as he quickly starts to pay back the £180,000 that Blackpool paid for him. Again though, they couldn't hold on to the lead. Darren Ambrose scoring his first league goal in over 3 years. Still some work to do for the new-look Blackpool.
Yeah, some great goals in that, and some dubious defending as well. Should we have a look at the league table?
We would expect nothing better.
This was the bit that I was looking forward to most, having never been on the Wheel of Fortune. This is how the...
We did try to get you the spangles to go for the full look,
I know,
but yeah.
you weren't having it. This is the League One table, the first League One table of the season. And it
So,
looks
I mean,
thus.
I don't want to say
Oh,
essentially
there we go.
meaningless, and it certainly isn't if you're a Gillingham fan, is it? Because they are top after that 4-0 thrashing of promotion favourites Sheffield United. Followed by Swindon Town. They also had a great win of their own. They came from behind to beat Bradford City. Chesterfield, Coventry, Rochdale, Burton and Millwall also off to winning starts.
Well, that defeat for Sheffield United, look at that, it sees them at the bottom of the table with Bradford, Wigan and Peterborough completing the bottom four at the moment. There were also defeats, as you can see, for Barnsley, for Shrewsbury and for Scunthorpe as well.
Now, your team may have lost, but it's your chance to win. You can get involved in our competition. Here's your chance to win tickets for you and 3 friends to a Sky Bet Football League match with £250 travel allowance and a 50-inch LG Full HD TV. All you have to do is identify the player. He was at York City, went to Hibs, on to Crewe Alexandra, then to Brentford and is currently at Birmingham City. Is it A, David Davis, B, Clayton Donaldson, or C, Michael Morrison? For your chance to win, text football and A, B or C to 65515 or post your answer, name and phone number to Football1 PO Box 7557 Derby DE10NP. Entrance must be 18 or over. Date restrictions apply. Text costs £1.50 plus 1 message at standard network rates. Lines close at midday on the date shown on the screen and 3 days later for postal entries. For rules, go to channel5.com/win. Good luck.
That is the competition. Now is time to welcome our special guest to Football League tonight, a manager with a no-nonsense reputation, a no-nonsense approach, certainly. A former League Two Manager of the Year. He guided Barnet back into the Football League last season. And for pre-season bonding, he took them up west on the Tube for a game of ping-pong and a pint of lager. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Martin Allen.
That's our favourite pre-season trip. That's the one we would like to come on. So next year, we'd like to come for ping pong and beer, if that's all right.
Well, we started off in Hyde Park Corner, had a nice cappuccino around there by the lake. I think all the players expected a swim and a little bit of a jog, but the chairman booked a nice restaurant in the West End, and the players ended up playing in Farringdon, I think, North London, in a place that plays, as you say, table tennis.
And were the players happy with this pre-season approach, or would they have rather gone abroad and got a bit of a tan?
Well, you know, 7 nights away, training 3 times a day. That was the option. We haven't got the money or the budget for that sort of stuff, so we took a nice option in the West End. It was a beautiful sunny day. Players had a good time, and we lived by our means, and we're happy with what we've got.
Martin, we're going to do a spoiler alert now because it was a 2-0 defeat today. But what's it like being back in the Football League?
Guess he's in a great mood.
I know. You see, he's got to turn his eye back to table tennis.
Well, if the team plays well and they give everything they've got, as a manager, I believe we should be happy with them. And they've given everything they've got. They've been fantastic through pre-season. We've had some good results. We've brought some new players in after winning the championship last season. So when you lose, and we'd had, you know, I'm sure every Orient supporter would say, the first half we were very unlucky not to go at least 3 goals ahead. And then the second half, to be fair to Orient, they played very well, and they had a couple of chances, took them, and shake their hands and move on to the next one.
Have you seen the highlights yet from your game?
No, straight from Orient, straight here.
Follow me then.
Low lights, I say. Come on then, where are we going?
Well, you just told me you played well first half.
Well, we did play well. There's no doubt about it. There's obviously some areas to work on, but it's a big step up from the conference, and it's a big day for all of our players and supporters.
Here we go then. Talk me through this.
What do you want me to say? Well, this is the chance they had. He's just clipped that wide. McCallum, the centre forward, who used to be at West Ham.
You thought that was in, didn't you?
No, it was always going wide. And this is us in the first half. That's John Akinde. He's taken on their captain. This should have been, as you can all see, a glaring chance. But Michael Gash, he's been a fantastic player for us through that championship win last year. But that was always going wide, wasn't it? No, this is the second half now, where the young lad Cox is a good player, the little number 7. He started to get into the game more as the game was going opening up. and then they got a few chances here in the
second
second
half. The goals came
half.
very quickly.
2 in a minute. You know, like I say, the players are disappointed, but they've given everything in the dressing room after the game. We've come a long way since I got to Barnet 16 months ago when we were mid-table to where we are today. And I'm proud of them, but we've just got to start putting that mentality behind us and saying, well done for getting here. We're not here just to make the numbers up, we want to make something happen. And I'm sure the players will be ready for it. And as I say, I think all our supporters will say we've given it everything we've got there
And
today.
worth remembering, there were two divisions between you two teams prior to this.
Yeah, well, that club at Orient has been totally mismanaged, hasn't it, over the past year? So many managers and so many changes. But now with Ian Hendon and Andy Hessenthaler, I'm sure, and I really hope they do climb again, because Orient, I think, it was a great little club. And, you know, it was a great atmosphere there today. We should have won, could have won, but we look forward to playing them again later in the season.
Coming up after the break here on Football League Tonight, we're going to take a look at the 3 former England internationals who are now managing in League Two. Plus, we'll round up the rest of the action from the Championship.
Welcome back to Football League Tonight. Martin Allen, the Barnet manager, is still with us. We've just seen how Martin's side got on today. 2 goals in a minute. Didn't go your way on the opening weekend of the season, your first match back in the league. Let's have a look at Bristol Rovers, the other side to be promoted from conference. This is how they got on today. Yeah, but a dodgy defending. Early chance this from Northampton, just dragged wide. That was Mark Richards.
Yeah, he normally buries them. He's a good centre forward, him.
Yeah, he's annoyed with himself as well, isn't he?
Look at the big crowd they've got at Bristol. It's a big club down there. What a goal this is, by the way. This volley for the cross. What a fantastic ball that is.
Well, that's John Joe O'Toole against his former club.
Yeah, he's got an habit of scoring important goals. He doesn't look too happy at scoring it.
There was another chance, though. Really good chance, that.
Yeah, I think that's Ellis Harrison, who's a very good Welsh under-21 international. He is one to look for the future, for sure.
Those pink kits, by the way, for a cancer charity. It begs the question, having seen your guys tonight and Bristol Rovers as well both lose, I should say. How do you think Bristol Rovers will go this season?
Yeah, they'll do very well as well. Got a good manager, good players, fantastic fan base. And they run us very hard last year to come second. But they're good. It's a good club. It's in a good position. And the first game, you can't really tell a lot over that first game. It's a lot of emotion comes into it as well, especially having been promoted. But over the season, both clubs, I'm sure, will do very well.
So you think Bristol Rovers will go well? They've got a good manager. Barnet, we know, have got a very, very good manager. How do you think they will go?
Yeah, he's a good manager, that guy. No, we've got a great, honest group of lads. We've got a fantastic group of players.
What are your aims, realistically? Be honest with me. What do you think you can achieve this year?
Well, when we sat together this time last year, I fully expected us to be champions. And we trained and prepared every day and played every game to be a champion. And we were top of the league last year for the whole season at Barnet, which is some going. And then when we got together this summer, we've sat down with the players, and for the time being, I think we've set ourselves a target or a goal of to win our next game. And we didn't manage that today at Orient, but I think we played very well. And on Tuesday, we've got another London derby where we go down to Millwall, which will be, I think they was in a championship, weren't they? And us from the conference, so there was a big gap, so it's a fantastic challenge for us. And next week, I think we play Wickham. And then, as we've just seen there with Northampton, I think we play them as well next week. So we've got a very exciting 4 games in 10 days. And our long-term goals, we'd have to keep those under wraps, get these games under our belt, and then kick on from there.
You're loving it, I can tell. I can absolutely tell.
I enjoyed it today. You know, you said, you know, I thought you'd walk in with a sad face.
I don't think you'd turn up.
But, no, I'm not like that. I don't really get too happy when we win. And, you know, last season we just won every week, I think, which was fantastic.
Keeps it interesting.
Well, you can imagine if we're top of the league every week, every game we played last season, it was the best team in the league had come into town, the biggest crowd of the season, first tackle every week was clapped by the supporters with energy and enthusiasm. And now it's a little bit different for us. Nobody expected us to win at Orient. We took the game to them today for 60 minutes, but didn't quite manage to get that goal to get ahead. but it won't stop us in what we do and how we play and our belief in ourselves. And I've got to say, it is exciting. It is exciting.
I can tell. Great having you here, Martin. Kelly.
Time now to check in on the 3 former England internationals who are now managing in League Two. Do you know who they are?
Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham at Stevenage. At Newport,
Terry Butcher.
Terry Butcher. Anybody want to go for the third one? If I tell you it's at Carlisle, would you get Keith Curle? Yes. See, we've got an audience who know what they're talking about. Here's how they all got on.
The arrival of Teddy Sheringham should ensure plenty of media attention for Stevenage, but he knows a stellar playing career and more than half a century of internationals will count for little if results don't go his way. He was facing up to his first managerial test with just over half an hour played, as Curtis Thompson gave Notts County the lead. County have made big changes to their playing staff after relegation from League One, and this was a decent start for them. Victory becoming rather more comfortable when Mavuna Amavor made it 2-0 late on. Amavor's afternoon ended early, though, as he was sent off along with Stevenage substitute Tom Hitchcock after a scuffle close to the dugouts. This was not what Sheringham had in mind for his first taste of management, but he refused to be too despondent.
They got the early goal and got me in a good position, and we were fighting to get back into it, but I got no complaints from my team. If they keep performing like that, I'll be delighted.
Keeping Newport out of danger could be quite a headache for Terry Butcher, but he's never been the sort to let that bother him. Barry Corr underlined the challenge when he opened the scoring for Cambridge. Prolific for Southend en route to promotion last season, and on the evidence of this match, brimming with the confidence only a proven goalscorer can possess. Corr toying with Joe Day before doubling the lead in the second half. Butcher, so famously a blood-stained star for his country, may need to muster some of that spirit in his rapidly assembled squad as Newport rebuild on a fraction of their former budget. A foul on Scott Bowden offered a lifeline, but from the spot, who'd want to face a keeper called Besant? Sam did his dad Dave proud, defying Medialito. Besant, one of the U's numerous new faces. So many manager Richard Money says even he hasn't got a clue what his best 11 is. Robbie Simpson muddied the waters more by coming off the bench to score. It's lucky Terry Butcher loves a battle.
I'm not disappointed. It doesn't look, 3-0 if you see the game. It's not an absolute hammering. We've had good spells of the ball. Passing was quite good, the movement was good, just the final ball in the box and the opportunities that we should have done better with.
Keith Curle's England career was rather more short-lived than Sheringham or Butcher's, spanning 3 matches in 1992. But his fate on the opening day looked like being the same as the others, thanks to Malvin Benning's terrific free kick for Mansfield. Then one of Curle's new signings came up with the equaliser. Jabu Abere has moved to Carlisle after being released by Colchester, and he rescued a point for his new team just before half-time.
Well, we've been taking a look at potential promotion candidates from all the leagues. Let's take a look at League Two now. Adam, the one to start with is Portsmouth. They've been favourites to go up from League Two for the last 2 seasons. Is anything going to change this time round? Because they are favourites again.
I'll say the start that Paul Cook would have wanted was a good win. As you say, they've been down now for a couple of divisions and they're a massive, massive club. But it's really now up to the players to step up to the plate. And so Wayne Burnett, the Dagenham manager, would be disappointed. He'd been pleased with the first half performance, but I say it was a good goal there from Gareth Evans from a corner, and again they just switch off. It's easy there. This is Carl Bennett, a wonderful finish again. He's been an important signing for them this season. So I played with his brother at Brighton, Elliot, and I'm sure he's going to send him a few text messages tonight of how to teach him how to finish. But this is a wonderful goal from him again. Just gives him that little bit too much time to get the shot away. I say Paul Cook will be really, really pleased that his side have got off to a good start.
Yeah, 3-0, a very impressive win for Portsmouth. For Luton, a little bit steadier for their trip to Accrington, but in John Still, they have a manager who knows the league inside out.
Yeah, I'd say John, especially at Dagenham and Redbridge, I say he's had a very, very good career there, and he's slowly getting Luton back into the way that he wants to play. Not the start that they would have wanted. As you say, this was great play from Josh Windass, wins the penalty. I say Jonathan Smith giving away it there. He knows it, don't really need to be diving in there. I say fair play to Windass, gets himself back up, and he gives his side a well-deserved lead at that side. A great penalty in the corner. But when you sign players like Craig McKell-Smith, someone that I saw a lot of him at Brighton last season, when you want your first goal, you don't need your fullback getting in the way of it and coming off his back. But
It might have just helped it on its way there.
Yeah.
I think Jonathan Smith's actually credited with the goal, with the equaliser in the 90th minute plus 2 minutes of injury time. It's an amazing way to manage to get a point out of that one. So Luton progression a little bit steadier than Portsmouth. Let's take a look at Oxford United against Crawley.
Well, Michael Appleton in his pre-season notes was saying that they didn't win for the first 7 games, and the start was so crucial for them. And this is really a catalogue of errors of defending from the throw-in. So Mark Yates at Crawley going in there and say it's a new start for him. Difficult getting relegated last season, and I say that was a good goal there from Edwards at the far post.
Relegated last season. I've seen Crawley tipped to go down again this time around. Was that taking it a bit too far?
It was very early in the season, Kelly, to see how they will fare, but it was a poor goal to give away there.
Yeah, but we've seen the sort of main challenges in League Two now. What do you think?
Well, I still think that Portsmouth and Luton are going to go very strong. I think the signing of Craig McHale-Smith, I know I've spoken about him before, but he's had a lot of injuries, and I think going back and working with John Steele again is really going to help his confidence, and I'm sure he's going to settle in well in League Two.
Just watching those highlights, Martin, you were living and breathing everything. You're scouting all the time. And you said to me, Josh Windass, it was Dean's son, by the way, good player, didn't you? Good player.
Yeah, he's a good player, yeah. I've been watching him for a few years now. Obviously, his dad was such a good player. But, no, you've got to watch all the highlights there. We record everything, get it all put into sections from each club through the season so we can go back and see where the strengths and weaknesses are, of course.
Well, we've still got plenty more football to watch as well tonight. We will reveal the remaining league tables when we come back from our final break. Welcome back to Football League tonight, our final segment. Already tonight we've seen some brilliant goals, some amazing sportsmanship, some questionable sportsmanship as well. We still don't need to sort out the Championship and League Two.
While we're doing that, spare a thought for Yeovil fans. The last 2 seasons, they finished bottom of their division. Now in League Two, they wouldn't want to finish today in that familiar position. They started their campaign at St James Park.
Yeovil fans have suffered over the past couple of years thanks to back-to-back relegations, and any feelings of optimism for a new season in danger of being wiped out quickly. They conceded a penalty for Connor Roberts' foul, and last season's top scorer Tom Nichols made it 1-0 to Exeter with just over half an hour played. That soon became 2-0 as David Wheeler beat Yeovil keeper Chris Wheel to the ball and briefly hurt himself in the process. But then a second-half response from Yeovil. They pulled 1 goal back through Harry Cornick, and they were given a chance to equalise thanks to the game's second penalty, awarded for Christian Ribeiro's foul on Ryan Dixon. It was taken by Matt Dolan. 2-2, but Exeter eventually won the game through new signing Will Hoskins. He added a neat finish to Matt Oakley's terrific pass and gave Paul Tisdale an encouraging start to his 10th season as manager. Scotsman Derek Adams has been in charge at Plymouth for just a couple of months, but some early signs here he's already having an impact. Greg Wild's powerful volley set up a winning start. And another player who's travelled south with the new manager added the second. Graham Carey also marking his debut with a goal. Wimbledon didn't win any of their last 8 league games last season. They made a bad start this time round. Hartlepool's improbable escape from relegation was one of the great stories of the last, or indeed any Football League season. Billy Painter is among the new faces trying to avoid the need for a repeat performance this year. Scoring a 100th league goal was a good way to kick off his Pool's career. Rakesh Bingham made sure of the win in the second half. A highly satisfactory start for Ronnie Moore's men, who are hopeful of even better days ahead. Wycombe missed out on promotion in the most agonising way possible last season, losing a penalty shootout in the playoff final. But they quickly set about proving they've still got the stomach for the fight. Anthony Stewart punished a poor back header to give them a 1-0 lead. And by half-time, they seemed to have completely shaken off the after-effects of that Wembley disappointment as Aaron Holloway added a second. York finished 18th last season and played out far too many draws, 19 in total. But what they'd have given for a point at Adams Park. Instead, they were well beaten, with Stefan Zubar scoring the most memorable goal of the game for all the wrong reasons. An own goal from well outside the area. It was one of those days for York.
Incredible, incredible, that Zubar own goal. You shouldn't laugh, should you?
No.
But you cry if you didn't know. Oh, apologies. Shall we have a look at what it does to the League Two table? Here we go. Spin it round. There we go. Cambridge, Portsmouth, Wickham, top of the pile. They all won by 3-0. As a result, they occupy, as you would expect, the top 3 places in alphabetical order. Hartlepool, Leyton Orient, Notts County, Plymouth all winning as well 2-0 today. So Exeter and Northampton were the other sides recording victories.
Let's take a look at the bottom, and York and Newport County both suffered long-distance away days, combined with 3-goal defeats. Disappointing starts too for Dagenham and Redbridge, for Teddy Sheringham Stevenage, for Morecambe and for Barnet. But don't worry if you're a fan of those clubs, there's still 45 games, hooray, to put things right, aren't there, Martin?
Oh, yeah. Do you ever look at these league tables? Or when do you start looking at them?
I didn't even look at them last season. I think we were top, as I said earlier, for just about the whole season. And I never bothered looking once.
Well, you didn't need to because you knew you were top.
Well, you can't change anything. No. You know, you're not going to play 4 up front on Tuesday night away at Millwall just because we lost today. You're just going to keep doing what we normally do, keep practising how we practice and keep playing how we're playing, and you know the points will get on there.
Well, just one more table to reveal, but to do that, we have to round off the action from the Sky Bet Championship, starting with one of Martin's old clubs, QPR.
Bad news, Martin. QPR's rotten run shows no signs of ending. Jaron Cherry forced a good save from Nick Pope, but Charlton had the better of this London derby. Rebuilt relegated squads can prove easy prey to sides toughened by life outside the Premier League, and Charlton showed no mercy here. Substitute Tony Watt beating Robert Green at his near post for the Addicks opener. A first Charlton goal for Morgan Fox, then completed a very satisfactory derby win for Guy Luzon's side. To think that some have tipped them for relegation. QPR, meanwhile, may find that this time bouncing back to the top tier will be no easy task.
Rangers will have taken note of Cardiff and Fulham's experiences back in the Championship last season, underwhelming at best. In Wales, Matt Smith was soon putting himself about for the Londoners, who need a far better start this time than 7 league defeats from 8. While in the second half at the same end, Anthony Pilkington also had trouble with the woodwork after opting to take on a fair bit of the Fulham defence all on his own. City's efforts to ramp up the fans' optimism aren't being helped by West Brom's pursuit of keeper David Marshall, who missed this one through suspension, and saw his potential long-term replacement Simon Moore embarrassed by Ben Pringle. Smith quick on the uptake to give Fulham a lead to protect. A test now for what was one of the Championship's leakiest backlines last season, though there wouldn't be much any defender could do about Cardiff sub Craig Noon's equaliser. A beauty that saved City's skin with just 4 minutes to spare. Birmingham have a good feeling about the months to come, and with luck like this, who wouldn't? Reading keeper Jonathan Bond's debut taking a turn for the worse thanks to a sizable deflection that sent David Cottrell off to celebrate. Last season, City battered Reading 6-1 when the revival under Gary Rowett was hitting its stride, and John Terrell's header potentially had them on track for another big win. The Royals, though, were in no mood for a meek surrender this time around. Another goalkeeping debutant, Thomas Kuszczak, could only parry Danny Williams' shot, Chris Gunter setting up Nick Blackman. Reading would really have been in the pink rather than just African violet, as they call those fetching shirts, if Aaron Shabola's thunderous effort had been judged to cross the line. No goal given, which looked harsh, and a big let-off for Birmingham, who required another deep into stoppage time. A brush from David Davis sent Simon Cox tumbling in the box to hand new signing Orlando Sarr the perfect chance to get off the mark. A big moment for the Pole in goal. Cox missing the rebound as Birmingham breathed a huge sigh of relief.
That was in, wasn't it? That Reading goal?
Looked it. It looked it. I'm going to have to see it again. I'm going to have to see it again and again and again.
We'll watch it later.
Yeah.
I think we're up to date, actually, so let's have a look at the... how have I ended up as your assistant, by the way? The final
I think
table.
you do it so well.
There we go.
I mean, it's extraordinary. Look at MK Dons, top scoring team in the Football League last season. Not much has changed for them. They've only just been promoted to the Championship. They're top of the table after a 4-1 win at Rotherham. Charlton second after they beat QPR. Wins for Hull, Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham and Wolves see them complete the top 6. Brighton's victory over Nottingham Forest last night puts them in 7th place on goals scored.
At the other end, the wrong end of the table. Well, there you go. Ignore it if you want. Rotherham are bottom after that loss to MK Dons. They are joined in that bottom 3 by Queen's Park Rangers and Huddersfield. Fans, though, don't press that cliched panic button just yet. It's only day 1, so don't worry about it. Bristol City, Nottingham Forest, Reading, Blackburn are the other teams yet to get off the map.
But as you say, plenty of time for them to do that, though. Let's just head back up here. Martin, I wonder if you could tell me, what do you think is the most impressive performance of the day?
I think it has to be my old club, Gillingham. 4-0 at home to Sheffield United. Got to be the #1 for me.
MK Dons, though, are the team on the front page of the Football League paper. Their fantastic win and going straight to the top of the table has seen them make the front pages. We'll be back again at the same time next week on Football League Tonight. For now, though, with thanks to Martin, bye-bye.